In the last few months, I've been repeatedly learning over and over and over and over again the same lesson, which was that I should always listen to what other people have to tell me, but then actually never follow what they say. Never actually then deciding based on what they said, but rather on what I feel is right. And so that is especially true if you, just like me, want to have regret free decisions. Because at the end of the day, it's not about making the right or wrong decision. There are no right or wrong decisions, at least in my opinion. There is just the decision that is best for you and the one that isn't, or the ones that aren't, right? And so why should we actually always listen but then never follow what other people tell you? Let me share these things with you, because this really changed my life. When I started taking decisions this way, I started feeling way more satisfied with my decisions, and actually no more be there regretting what I had done because I was just following what other people tell me. Now, the first thing we need to understand is why we need to always listen to what other people tell us. Now, that is very important, I think, because at the end of the day, when we want to make a decision, we want to be having as much information as we can. That's really important, because if you don't know your options, then you won't be able to make a good decision. On top of that, when you're speaking with others, you already know what you know, right? And so if you just talk about what you know, if you just repeat what is in your mind, you will probably not learn anything new. And so when you're talking with others, I've seen it really pays, at least for me, to listen, to stay silent, let them talk, and actually listen, not just let them talk, listen to and get in the information, the things that they're telling me. But then I've seen that I should never, ever, ever actually follow what they tell me. Now, that doesn't mean that you should always do the opposite of what the other person tells you, right? If someone tells you do that, you just do the opposite. That's also stupid, like if you just do that. But you should never follow what they say, because you follow yourself. Now, that means that sometimes you will be also making decisions that are in line with what the other person told you. But you're not actually making that decision because the other person told you, but because your deep intuition told you to do so. And so why shouldn't we actually listen and follow what other people tell us? Now, for a very long time, let me tell you, I always thought that I should follow what other people tell me because they had more experience, they were older than me. And I just thought to myself, well, if they know more about it, they will tell me better and know better what I should be doing, right? Right? Actually not. First of all, what I've seen with time is that very often, like really experienced people in the same field told me very different things, right? One millionaire told me to become a millionaire, you need to go to university. The other one told me university is bullshit. Now, what should I do, right? Like, how can I be doing the right decision by following others? Everyone just talks about different things and has different opinions. And on top of that, what I've seen is that even when everyone seems to be agreeing on one thing you should be doing and tells you do that, do that, do that, but my gut feeling was telling me to do the opposite, and I actually followed my gut feeling, I always ended up feeling satisfied. I always ended up not regretting my decision and making a regret-free decision. On the other hand, every single time I followed what other people told me, and at the same time I didn't listen to my inner deepest intuition, that's when I always ended up feeling like, why the hell didn't I just listen to myself, right? And that is very simply the case because it doesn't matter how much experience someone has, they will never know the most important thing to make the best decisions for you. And that is what you want. No one except you. Think about it. Doesn't matter how experienced someone is, doesn't matter how much knowledge they have, doesn't matter how successful they are, they will never know what you really want, your desires, your needs, your goals. And that is actually the most important thing when making decisions, because think about it, there is no real right or wrong, the best decision. One decision like that is good for someone might be the worst for someone else. And so if you just listen to others that listen to themselves and listen to their knowledge and their experience, you will never be making good decisions because they do not know what you really want, how you feel about it, what you like doing, what you don't like doing, your goals, your desires, your needs. And that's why you're always going to be making very regretful decisions if you make them not listening to yourself and actually going against what you feel is right for you. Because as said, there is no right and wrong decision. There is just the one that is right for you or not right for you. And you're the only one who actually knows your goals and knows yourself. So always listen to others, not just let them talk, but listen to others, because they can give you some really helpful information that might, change some things in your reasoning, that might, give you some new insight. And based on them, you will be able to make better decisions. But then never actually follow what they said. Follow what you feel inside is right. And right now you might be thinking to yourself, well, how do I actually listen to my intuition, right? Maybe you don't hear it. Like, where is that voice you're talking about, Andrea, right? How can I start listening to my intuition and follow my intuition more? It's actually very simple. The first thing I want to tell you here is that you, just like everyone else, has this deep intuition. Now, a few people think that, I don't hear it, so maybe I don't have it, right? Maybe I don't have an intuition, I don't have a gut feeling, I don't have a heart. But let me tell you that you, just like everyone else, has it. We all have it. But the thing is that it's kind of like a lost ability. Most people don't listen to it. And that's why it becomes more shallow, and they lose the ability to actually hear what it is telling them, right? It always is talking, but you need to start listening to it again. That's the second thing. And the more you start listening to it, the more you start asking it for help, the more you start asking yourself, because at the end of the day, it's just you, for what you really want. That's when you will start hearing it more and more and more. And it will go from being a shallow voice to a big fucking loud voice that is always going to be helping you and telling you what you should be doing in any situation, because it always is talking. Now, at the beginning, it might be hard to hear it, right? You might not know what this voice without noise is, this voice that doesn't really give you any sentence, that is not talking in words, but it's more talking in feelings towards you. What I want you to do, if you want to start practicing this inner intuition, like listening to it, because it is always talking, let me tell you, it is, starting to listen to what you don't want at the beginning. It's always easier to know what you don't want, because your heart, your intuition, your gut feeling, your inner voice is always kind of like making you feel like it wants to protest against things that you don't want. And so that's where it's actually the easiest to start. Start with the things you don't want. Ask yourself, what do I not want? Or like imagine yourself having chosen that thing, and ask yourself, am I feeling excited, or am I feeling like, I don't really want it? Like, with time you will start to understand what I mean with this gut feeling. You will start to hear it louder and louder and louder. And right now, literally every single time I'm making a decision, I know exactly what I should and shouldn't do. It's literally as simple as that. And then when you're actually understanding the things that you don't really want, you start eliminating options, and you will have a few options. And then a thing that really helps me out is, as said, imagine myself having already chosen a thing, right? I chose option B. How do I feel about it? Do I feel like protesting, or do I feel like excited? I want to, start doing things, right? So if you feel like protesting, then you know that that's not the right decision. And if you really don't know it, like you imagine yourself, okay, imagine myself option A, I don't feel like anything. Like option B, okay, would be a nice too. Option C, yeah, it doesn't also bother me, right? So if you don't really know, you just choose one and you just see. If you feel like protesting, that's not the right one. If it doesn't bother you, if you're okay, then it's the right one. And by doing these things, you will basically become very good at listening to your inner gut feeling. And that is an ability that many people have lost nowadays. Many people don't really even know what their gut feeling is. They don't even know that it exists. And most importantly, then don't know how to listen to it, how to, feel and decide based on what is right for them. And even more people fear taking their own decisions, right? many people, including me in the past, really fear being told, I told you, right? I told you that you had to do that thing. And they fear really making mistakes. But at the end of the day, bro, let me tell you this, there is no right and wrong. So that should be already taking a lot of pressure off your shoulders. And maybe someone else will tell you, that thing will make you more successful. But if you know inside that that's not the kind of success that you want, right? Then why should you be following other people's success and wanting to become someone else's copy, right? Other people will always, give you their best advice, hopefully, at least many people, and they always try to give their best, right? They always try to help you. But the thing is that no one really knows you. No one really knows what you like, what you don't like, what you like doing, your goals, your needs, your desires. And so if you continue really listening and just following what other people tell you, you will never really feel at peace with yourself and with your decisions, because they're missing the most important part when it comes to taking a decision: your needs, your goals, your desires, what you want and what you don't want. And so they might think that the kind of success that they have achieved is the one that you want. And so they're going to basically help you achieve that. But if that is not what you want, then it doesn't make any sense to go ahead and get it. And so I know it will be a little bit harder for you, especially at the beginning. You haven't yet practiced a lot your intuition, probably. And so it takes a little bit of practice to really start hearing that inner voice. But let me tell you that when it actually starts hearing it louder and louder and louder, it totally changes your life. Because you go around in the world knowing that there is no right and wrong decision, but you deep down know inside all the fucking time what you should be choosing. And so literally I now go around, and when I have to make a decision, someone asks me something, there is something, I just know, okay, that's the right thing for me. That's not because I can hear it really, really, really distinctively now. And so it's literally as simple as that. It totally changed my life, to be really honest. I made so many more regret-free decisions by not listening to others, even when everyone was telling me, do the opposite, do the opposite, do the opposite. But inside I knew that I should do that thing. I did it. And I felt amazingly well, because as I said, there is no right and wrong decision. There is just what works well for you and what doesn't. So start listening to your heart. It's probably a little bit harder, I said at the beginning, but it's totally worth it. So worth it, bro. So fucking worth it. Anyways, really hope this video helped you out. If it did, and if you liked it, make sure to leave a like and to subscribe. Do not miss on my future videos. Wish you all the best, bro. And yeah, see you very soon. Ciao.